Welcome back to Newslink. Now, the state is expected to call its next witness in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial this morning. Just yesterday, a new witness had rather shocked the court when he revised his testimony. It followed another state witness that cast doubt on the prosecutor's case. But our reporter, ENC's Manqoba Mchunu, is watching the case at the High Court in Pretoria, and he joins me now for the very latest. Manqoba, good morning to you. Let's start with this. The lead forensic investigator, that's Thabo Mosia, has been facing quite a grueling cross-examination. We all witnessed it, but he also made some shocking concessions about his evidence. Just tell us more.
Well, certainly, Tumelo, shocking concessions that were made by Thabo Mosia. Of course, the crucial part of his evidence is around what he found on the scene when he arrived on the day when he had investigated that particular incident. We know that he arrived at the scene, firstly, around about 20 past 12. That's on the 27th of October, just hours after Meyiwa had been shot. He arrived on the scene the second time in the morning, and according to his evidence in court, he had told this court that he had arrived around about 6 o'clock in the morning. But when the registers and his pocketbook were brought in court, this, of course, raised some discrepancies as far as his evidence is in court, as well as those registers are concerned. What the registers seem to show, according to the entries that are there, is that Thabo Mosia had only arrived at the scene after 10 o'clock in the morning. And of course, there were questions from the defense about some of those discrepancies between his evidence in court as well as those pocketbooks that had been brought to court, you recall, last month. And of course, he had questions posed to him about these particular discrepancies and why there were such glaring, statements that were made about his time of arrival on the scene and when exactly did he arrive on the scene, but also as far as the photos that he took on the scene. You recall that the photos that were before court, there were only 8 photos in his photo album, but it now appears that there have been more photos that had been taken by Thabo Mosia which were not included in that particular photo album. There were questions about one of the photos which depict a Samsung S4 phone that was lying on a table, and the question from the defense was what happened to that particular phone, and they are contending that this phone might have belonged to Kelly Khumalo. You recall that we've heard that during that robbery, in fact, Kelly Khumalo's phone had been stolen. And what the defense is then contending is that if Mosia did not include these photos, this means that he might have been trying to not show exactly how the crime scene was at the time when he had arrived at that particular house. But he did make some concessions as far as those entries are concerned, saying that he was guessing at the times that he had put on those pocketbooks, and one of the reasons why he was guessing is because he says he was exhausted at that particular point. But take a listen to what he had to say.
I do understand, Mr. Mosia, but I just want to get clarity on this discrepancy. From your evidence in chief that you said you went back to the scene at 7. Do you understand that? Sorry, at 6, my lord, sorry.
I was just guessing.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was, as the witnesses indicated.
You were guessing?
Or no guessing.
In
yes.
your evidence in chief?
Evidence in chief.
On the document. The end.
Oh, sorry, can I get, you guess on what? You were guessing on what?
I did not have the certainty of times because I did not have the pocketbook on which I had recorded.
No, I just need clarity on the issue of guessing. You were guessing what?
Exact time. I did not have the certainty of time, for there wasn't a source on which I could have recorded the time, which will have assisted me to actually speak about or mention the correct time.
So the answer, you were guessing on the document or in examination in chief?
Examination in chief.
Examination in chief. Okay.
I was guessing in the examination in chief.
Okay.
And Manqoba, another witness then making a U-turn in his evidence. What came out of that evidence?
Well, Dumela, this was one of the people that knew one of the accused here in court, Bongani Ntanzi. In fact, he had stayed with Bongani Ntanzi from 2009. He described to court their friendship and how they had met through Ingoma, or Zulu traditional dancing. And this particular witness, Jack Buthelezi, was the leader of that Ingoma. He says that Bongani Ntanzi had been part of the competitions, and he made a link as far as the area of folklore is concerned, saying that where Bongani Ntanzi had participated in the Ingoma was in the folklorist branch of the Zulu traditional dance that they had been taking part at the time. But he had been staying in Rustenburg at the time, employed by one of the mines in Rustenburg, and they eventually stayed together in Rustenburg. So he revealed, a conversation that he had with Bongani Ntanzi in 2020. This is when Bongani Ntanzi had been arrested by police. He had said that he had met Bongani Ntanzi, who had called him when he appeared in court, and he had then revealed to him that, in fact, he was arrested for being in possession of illegal ammunition, but also that he had been arrested for the killing of Senzo Meyiwa. But there was a question from the defense as far as this is concerned, because initially what he told this court is that he had been told by Bongani Ntanzi that he had been arrested for killing Senzo Meyiwa during a party, and he was with his friends at the time, Mapisa, who is accused number 4, and others, even though he didn't mention who those others were. But during cross-examination, however, he changed his tune to Melo, saying that, in fact, it was the police that had arrested Ntanzi, saying that Ntanzi had killed Senzo Meyiwa, not that it was actually Ntanzi that admitted to killing Senzo Meyiwa. But let's take a listen to that particular piece of evidence.
What he told you is that not that he, as Ntanzi, said I killed Senzo. He says the police say they arrested me because I was with Mapisa, we were at the party, we injured and killed Senzo.
Uthi akutshela kona angithi wena uthe uma utshela inkantolo uNtanzi wathi kuwena sibukele uSenzo silimaze uSenzo besisephathini uthi cha akazange akutshele kanjalo awakusho kuwena ukuthi amaphoyisa athi mina naboMaphisa nabangane sasisephathini saze sabulala uSenzo uthi wakutshela kanjalo hayi ukuthi wathi yena uyena oshoyo uthi wakutshela ukuthi amaphoyisa asho kanjalo. He didn't say like that. Yeah.
What police?
He said the police said. Yes. What police?
Yes.
He said the police said.
Yes.
Yes. They killed Meyiwa.
Yes. Now, on that bombshell.
Of course, we're hearing the defense there just trying to ascertain exactly what, the witness had actually meant to say. That U-turn not only surprising him, but also the entire court. You could see from everyone's body language there upon hearing that about turn made by the witness. Court will resume in this next hour, and we'll take you live inside the chambers, inside court, as soon as it begins. That's the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. Manqoba Mchunu, that's where I'll leave it with you for now. Thank you so much, colleague, for that update.